Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest video. In today's video, I want to go over the Vanguards from Innistrad Midnight Hunt, and also have a little bit of a discussion about the 120 Mana Jewel Elite Packs. So, let's get into it. To kick this off, I want to go over the Vanguards from the new set, because the Vanguards from the new set are, for the first time ever, great cards. Now, Dak Fayden is an excellent card. You could actually argue that Dak Fayden is a great card. Tamiyo and Sorin from the original War of the Spark set were both very good cards. But we haven't had Vanguards with the level of power that have come into the game with Innistrad Midnight Hunt. And there are specifically two of those cards that are incredibly powerful. Those two are Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and Wrenn and 6. So these are both rare Vanguards. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria is an 18 mana support. It has the passive ability of, if this support has the Heroism emblem, when you draw a card, exile an opposing card at random. This is basically the Teferi, Hero of Dominaria Planeswalker's third ability, but instead of just getting rid of one reinforcement at a time before ultimately exiling something, it just straight up exiles it. And you'll see that it says exile an opposing card at random. This gets rid of creatures, this gets rid of enchantments, this gets rid of lands. So basically it's just this gets rid of creatures, supports, whatever it is that your opponent has if it has the Heroism emblem. It has a +2 ability, which is draw a card and it gains mana equal to the number of white and blue gems on the board up to 10. This is basically just a +2 ability to draw a card and give it 10 mana. I have once had it give me less than 10 mana and it gave me 9 mana. But beyond that, it has given me 10 mana every single time that I've used the ability. The -8 is going to give this card the Heroism emblem and then draw 3 cards. Remember, that Heroism emblem is going to make it so that when you draw a card, you exile an opposing card at random. Meaning that when you use the -8, this is going to get that emblem and then you are going to exile 3 cards immediately. This is the second best card in the set. Tainted Adversary is the best card. This one is the second best card. And I think that this card here is actually the #1 chase card in the entire set. I'm saying that I think that this is the #1 chase card in the set because this is a card that's going to enable you to have insane tempo and control just for having one card and card draw. So this card here is going to enable you to get perfect scores in events, way more than any of the other cards in this set are likely going to do. Because between the card draw and the exile and the mana, you're just going to be set up for greatness. The Wrenn and 6 Vanguard has this incredible +1 of convert X gems to your Planeswalker's colors, where X is the number of non-creature cards in your graveyard. That means that if you get Wrenn and 6 rolling by getting a bunch of cards in your graveyard that are not creatures, the amount of gem conversion that this thing gets is insane. It's kind of like a Vanguard version of Storm the Vault or Urza, in that it's a single card that's able to get you just completely unreasonable amounts of gem conversion. It is an absolutely phenomenal and insanely powerful card. The -1 is by and large pointless. It deals 1 damage to any target. And the -7 is going to make it so that each card in your graveyard without buried gains flashback and buried 10. I'm going to be real with you all. I've never used the -1. I've never used the -7. I've only ever used the +1. And the +1 is such a strong ability that you really don't have any reason to use the -1 or the -7. And with all the gems that you're going to be converting, because this is on a +1, it's going to be losing shields, but it's going to be getting them back because it's on a +1. Now, at the Mythic level, the Wrenn and 7 Vanguard is actually a very, very good card. It's one where if you are going to pick up the Wrenn and 7 Planeswalker, I would definitely suggest that you try and pick up this Wrenn and 7 Vanguard. It has a +2 to destroy the top 2 cards of your library, which is a very solid ability, especially in conjunction with Wrenn's abilities. But more importantly, it has the -8 ability of pick up to 4 of the first 4 different cards from your graveyard, fetch them, and give them full mana. So this card is going to dump a bunch of things into your graveyard. It's going to boost its shields by 2 every turn. And if you either have played the +2 ability twice, which will get it to 9 shields and will dump 4 cards in your graveyard, then you'll be able to use the -8 and get them all back. Or if you play 2 copies of Wrenn and 7, the Vanguard, it'll be at 10 shields, and then you'll be able to use the -8 and get things back from your graveyard that way. The amount of cards that you're getting back with full mana and the ease of which you're going to be able to do that makes the Wrenn and 7 Mythic Vanguard worth targeting. The Teferi Who Slows the Sunset is actually a pretty solid Vanguard because the +1 ability is going to make it so you pick one of the first 3 cards from your library, fetch it, destroy the others, and gain 6 mana. So basically, you get to draw a card and give it 6 mana and destroy the top 2 cards, or 2 of the top 3 cards of your library for using the +1 ability. That's a very solid ability. The -8 is going to give all of your creatures on the battlefield a permanent prevent damage and vigilance buff. So that's also another phenomenal ability. That said, you'll see that I have Teferi Who Slows the Sunset, and yet I don't have any experience on Teferi Who Slows the Sunset yet, because the other Vanguards are just so much A, better than it, and B, I just haven't had an opportunity to play with all the cards that I have from the set yet. Now, how do you get these cards? Well, the way that you would pick these up is by going to the Innistrad Midnight Hunt Vanguards, and if you want the rares, you have to get this rare pack. And this rare pack on the left for 120 mana jewels is what will give you the possibility to pull the Teferi Hero of Dominaria and the Wrenn and 6 Vanguard. The odds on them are going to be 90% of the packs you pull, so 9 out of your 10 packs are going to have a rare, and 10% or 1 of the 10 is going to have a mythic. And then for the 400 crystal packs, those ones are going to have just a 100% chance of getting a non-duplicate mythic until you've gotten all the mythics, and then if you take repeated pulls, it will start to give you duplicates. But the real key here to this is actually in the text at the very top between where it says booster pack and rare plus pack and the image of the pack itself. If you look at the booster pack, where the 400 pack, under it says guaranteed non-duplicate, meaning that when you're spending your 400 mana jewels, you're guaranteed to get a non-duplicate card. And with the rare plus pack, you'll see that it does not guarantee that you get a non-duplicate card. And so this is where we're going to have a little bit of a heavy discussion, and I would love to know your guys' opinions on this. Before I go down this particular rabbit hole, I should point out that I try not to focus on anything that I think is a negative or a downside, like sort of negative spot in the game. It's just not the direction that I want my channel to be in. However, from what I've been reading from tens of players, the level of frustration that players are experiencing from this rare plus pack makes me feel like I need to address this in a video, especially because I wanted to address that Teferi Hero of Dominaria and Wrenn and 6 are 2 of the biggest chase cards in the set. So as I go over this, I'm going to share the footage of me opening my 120 crystal packs, jewel packs, and I'll share with you guys some comments that people have sent to me. Either they just sent it in my group coalition chat or something of the like that. So the thing about these packs, right, in them being potentially having duplicates, it means that players are going to be spending a ton of their mana jewels trying to get these chase cards. And you'll see that I actually pull Wrenn and 6 as my very first rare. I did actually pull a mythic before I pulled that Wrenn and 6, but then I was like, all right, I just need to keep pulling until I get both Wrenn and 6 and Teferi. And what you're about to see is what has happened to almost every single person that I have talked to or seen talk about their pulls with these 120 jewel packs. So a long time ago, when the elite packs became guaranteed non-duplicate, and you should know that elite packs didn't used to be guaranteed non-duplicate. It used to be that you could get duplicates from the elite packs, but they wound up changing that, a few sets back. But the thing about that was that they then decided to leave these rare packs as having potential duplicates. And here is where you're seeing the problem with that. Because the number of Ren and 6s that I pulled in a row was wildly frustrating. And I am what would be considered as a whale in this game. Because I have the resources from having a Patreon to be able to put enough in the game to make sure that I have a fairly full collection. And so by being able to do that, it enables me to make a lot of videos. But I also understand that I'm in the minority here, and most of the people that are pulling these 120 packs trying to pick up Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, are not whales. They are people just like you, I'm sure, most of you who are watching this video, who have been saving up mana jewels set after set and event after event to try and get some kind of really cool pull with the new set, only to find that they maybe spent 1,200 or more of their crystals trying to pick up both of Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and Ren and 6. Or maybe they were just trying to pick up Teferi. Or maybe they were just trying to pick up Ren. But either way, they wound up digging deep into their coffers, and they didn't wind up pulling both, or they didn't wind up pulling the one they wanted. Within my coalition alone, I've seen an incredible amount of rage that I haven't seen in my coalition in a very long time. And when I say rage, I just mean that there are going to be times when a single player is frustrated here or there. Maybe they get a crash in a coalition event. Maybe something bad happens where they get, really bad luck with a few premium packs. But check this one out. One of the people in my coalition wrote, "I've spent over 4,000 pinkies and I can't get Ren and 6. It's just crazy. I've got multiple of every card, including the mythics. I'm ready to quit." So this is a player who saved up 4,000 pinkies. That's crazy to me. I don't think I've ever had 4,000 pinkies. Maybe I have, but I don't know that I have. Honestly, I don't know that I have. That's just crazy. That's 10 guaranteed non-duplicate mythic or masterpiece cards. And they've spent over 4,000 trying to get Ren and 6, and they can't get Ren and 6. I have another one who wrote, "I just pulled my 7th Ren and 6 Vanguard duplicate." That means that that's their 8th Ren and 6 Vanguard. Also have gotten 4 of the Arlen rare dupes, meaning that they've gotten 5 Arlens, and 2 Garruk rare dupes, meaning that that's 3 Garruks. So that's 8 for Ren, that's 3, which brings us to 11 for Garruk, and that's 5 for 16 Vanguard pulls off of this one person trying to get Teferi, and they haven't been able to pick up Teferi. So I'm bringing this to the limelight here, although I'm sure that this is something that you are very familiar with and that you probably have heard some chitter chatter about in your coalitions if you're in a more active coalition. But at least to me, this is something that needs to change. So when they left these 120 packs as duplicates, I remember reading text somewhere that said that they were going to try and make it so that these packs would award you more likely than not a non-duplicate card. It's just that they were going to be weighted to giving you a non-duplicate more likely than they were going to be to weighted to give you a duplicate until you had gotten all of the cards. That said, you were still going to get dupes. It was still up to RNG, which random number generator, just it's random. But that really does not feel like the case for this set of Vanguard pulls. This set of Vanguard pulls just feels very, very strongly like it's weighted toward you're just getting duplicates. Now, I'm not saying that these packs have any greater odds to give dupes versus non-dupes. I'm just going off of what I've seen, and it's just felt sort of wrong. Sorry, it's felt very wrong. So because of that, I felt like I needed to address this in a video. Now, I think there's a really simple fix to this, honestly. I think that these rare packs, it's high time that these rare packs from elite sets are guaranteed non-duplicate cards, and that they pull the mythic and potential masterpieces out of these packs. There have been enough really good rares over the past few years that have come into the game. I'm thinking specifically of cards like Quartzwood Crasher or Shadow Spear or Garuda or even Mythos. of Nethroi or Hagra Mauling. I mean, there's just been so many really good rares, and it would be really nice for players to have yet another way of being able to target them while a set is the lead set. Let players pick if they want to target a rare or if they want to target a mythic or a masterpiece. But it's high time that these cards were put into guaranteed non-duplicate packs. Now, to close this particular video out, I will go ahead and reiterate and reinforce that Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and Renin 6 are two of the biggest chase cards in the set. They are both very much so worth having. Renin 6 more so if you're planning to pick up the Renin 7 Planeswalker, but Teferi, Hero of Dominaria is an absolute must-have from this set, and there is no other way to get it apart from trying to pick up these 120 mana jewel packs. So with that in mind, before you start investing your resources to pick this card up, it's important for you to determine if you are willing to potentially go through the grind to pick this thing up out of these packs, and if you want to tempt fate and RNG in order to try and pick up this card. It is, in my opinion, personally, worth it. It is an incredibly good card. It is one of the better cards that has come out in recent sets. It is incredible. But the cost to get it is not going to be, for many of you, a simple cost. And it might wind up being a cost that you can't afford to pick up given your resource acquisition, based on how you play events, based on what you're earning from them, where you're placing, all of that kind of stuff. So I'd love to hear all of your guys' thoughts on this video. I know that this is very different from my usual take and my usual video style. Octagon, if you're watching this particular video, I really do think that this is something that needs to be changed. It's just causing too much frustration in the community for something that I really don't think should be. For the rest of you, I'm sure that you know I am one of the biggest supporters of the studio and what they've done since they've taken over this game. I think that most of the things that they've done for the game have been very positive, and I'm very appreciative of the support that they've shown my channel. However, this is one of those types of things that I felt like I really had to discuss in a video. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.